needs are not being met, and they want them to be met.
So why do you call your coaching service Gutsy Lady Coaching?
Well, because I feel the term gutsy is an empowered woman. I mean, gutsy means courage, fearless, assertive, invincible. And when you're gone through cancer, you've experienced all these things. And then to be that empowered woman, you are a gutsy woman.
Well, and I took away another meaning when I first saw it. Most of our emotional receptors are in our gut. And so when people say I have a gut feeling, I feel in the pit of my stomach, I have a gut instinct, they're literally having those feelings.
Right.
And that's a form of intelligence called emotional intelligence.
Sure, right.
And so do you consider yourself a gutsy lady?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, because I take risks, and I'm here, but I also take risks. I do things out of the box. After I was diagnosed with cancer, when I was done with treatment, I said, I'm not going to be scared of anything again. Okay? First thing I did is I went skydiving. I jumped out of that airplane, and I've been going since. I've done trips.
How many times have you jumped out of an airplane?
Just once, but I'll do it again. I'm not afraid to do it again. It's actually beautiful to do that.
It reminds me of that Jack Nicholson movie, The Bucket List.
Oh, right.
Morgan Freeman. I got to
give him
credit.
Right. Yeah. So you do things like that. I just don't want to be scared again, because when you're scared, I mean really scared about losing your life, it's a very difficult thing. You really are frozen. You just don't move.
Well, I haven't been scared about losing my life. I've been scared about dying without having really lived.
Yes.
I don't know what famous philosopher said. He says most people die without ever fully living.
And that's so sad. That's just so sad. And really, that's what I coach. I coach those women to live with no regrets. You know, that's what it's all about.
And now, do you meet one-on-one with these women?
I do one-on-one. I also do group coaching. I do workshops also. But I do enjoy the one-on-one.
When you say you do groups, is it kind of a support group or something different?
It's something different. It would be like where we'd all meet on the phone call at teleclass, and we would move forward. We'd have a series of Thriver activities, and we'd move forward.
All right. Describe some of the Thriver activities.
Thriver activities would be like finding your passion and ways to deal with empowerment. Really, the empowerment is such a huge issue with everyone, and that's where they get the aha moment about how to live without being listening to that inner critic inside of us telling us that, you know, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, and overcoming that. Or also just limiting beliefs. So many times people feel that they've had cancer and they feel that they'll get it again just because somebody else did. And you know, to really put the facts.
Kind of sympathy pains?
There are some sympathy pains, and there's also just plain old fear that if I do this, it's going to come back. So
how long does your group consultation last?
Well, we do 8 weeks teleclasses, or I can do individual, you know, hour talks on the phone.
Yeah, and so where do you draw your clients from?
I draw my clients through referrals as well as workshops. I go to different cancer wellness centers and give workshops there. And
well, I've spoken at the Cancer Wellness Center. I think it's in Northbrook. Is that the center that?
I haven't spoken to that one. I've done Hinsdale and some other surrounding areas around here. But yes, that's where I go. Now,
your treatment is, or support is non-traditional. How does the staff at, let's say, a Cancer Wellness Center receive you?
Great. Wonderful. Really, where I feel that it really needs more, I don't know, more communication with is within the hospitals, within the oncologists and radiologists, you know, that area, the cancer world, because so many times they'll do studies. I've talked to my own doctors about this. They'll do studies and they'll say, yeah, you as a cancer patient, you know, you're going to have emotional problems and you're going to have pain and you're going to have all these other things to deal with. But by the way, we don't tell you how to go about and fix that. We'll just do the research.
Now, was that your experience?
Yes.
When you went in?
Absolutely.
And did they give you at least some resources?
Oh, sure, they'll give you resources, but it's basically, you know, take this medicine, you know, and go on your merry way.
Oh, I mean resources as in referrals.
No, 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 because I didn't need a therapist and I didn't need a social worker. I just really didn't know how to fit in with where I was fitting in. Because the problem is also with a cancer survivor is when you're done with treatment, your family and friends want you to be done. You're done. But you're really not done.
Close that chapter.
Close the door, right. My good friend used to say, get off the cross, you know, and it's not like that. You still have a lot of issues to deal with. There's so many shifts that have taken place.
And can you discuss what some of the issues that cancer survivors have to deal with?
Yeah, a lot of the issues are, for example, just in even the way you look. You know, you might have scars that are showing, particularly for a woman. It's very difficult. Also, if you've had a mastectomy, it's very painful. So
is the pain still remain after the surgery?
Many, many times, yes.
And does the pain, for some people, for some women, the pain after mastectomy never go away?
I can't speak for that for women, but I know that there are women that still have a lot of pain with this. And a lot of it, I think, too, is where your energy's at in your head. Are you feeling like a victim? You might experience more pain versus someone that has, you know, changed. I had a woman who had skin cancer, and she was feeling very awful just about the way she looked. She couldn't even look in the mirror. And so we talked about when a soldier comes back from a war in your community, you know, how do you feel about him? And she's like, well, you know, it's great. I think he's a hero. And I said, do you know, if he's, you know, missing a limb or something, do you shun him? Do you turn away? She's like, no, of course not. I would never do that. And so we come back, and this is your body. Your body is this soldier. Your body's the soldier that went to war for you and won the battle. So really, to shun this soldier isn't fair.
You know, I didn't realize till you spoke about the woman with skin cancer that you work with all types of cancer, not just breast cancer.
Right, right, right.
And so do you see similarities between the different types of cancer and the impact it has on women?
Yes, interesting. It's a lot about relationships, about those toxic relationships that...
And toxic emotions.
Yes, that they just have trouble getting, you know, being empowered and changing those relationships. But really, once they become empowered, those toxic people just slowly, slowly fade away.
Even women who are been in long-term marriages?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're getting a divorce, but they might become empowered in their relationship, which does cause a lot of conflict because particularly the husbands don't want them to change. They want the wife. They want the old wife, and this empowered woman is different.
Well, culture today is very different for women than, let's say, for our mother's generation. Are you seeing a difference? You know, let's say working with a woman who's in her 70s versus a woman who's in her 30s or 40s?
A little bit, but it's interesting. I just did a workshop the other day, and a woman, it was about 67, came up to me, and she wanted to be coached, and she said, I want to finish getting my college degree. And her family thinks she's crazy, but she really wants to do this. And I think that's wonderful that she's at this age feeling empowered and ready to do this. So, you know, really to that bucket list, to move on and live with no regrets.
Excellent. Now, I'm familiar with the technique. Carl Simonton and his wife, Stephanie Matthews Simonton, well, they're divorced now, but and she actually had breast cancer. They did the seminal research in visualization and cancer healing. Do you get involved with any of those type of healing modalities?
I have, but it's really not my specialty. If the person really needs to be calm or we'll really do some visualization about where they want to go and just, you know, visualizing that kind of thing.
Are you familiar with Dr. Simonton?
I've heard of him, but I have not read his work.
Oh, it's getting well again, and it's the seminal work, the first research on visualization and cancer healing, and he did it in like the late 60s, early 70s. And he's a radiological oncologist, and his then wife was a psychologist, so she was the mind, he was